All right, folks. Good morning and welcome to the Coffee Run. Sorry for the late start there, but when I started my streaming app, it wanted to do an update, and I pressed the button by mistake, so it had to do an update and then restart itself. So it cost me a couple minutes. Anyway, we're here. We're back. Fresh new day, right? Yesterday was kind of ugly. Hopefully today is not quite so ugly. Here we go. Our normal 5K in the rack. We're gonna go ahead and rock 5K, and let's get after it. Let's do our normal warm up, right? $500. We'll do our horseman warm up like we'd like to do, the $200 don't pass, 3 combats, and let's come out of the gate with a little bit of money in the pocket, hopefully, and then if not, we'll go ahead and do our drawdown. But let's get ourselves warmed up here. Good morning, Old Bay Craps and Gary and Randy. Randy, the big winner yesterday. Here we go. Coming out. Let's try to avoid an early disaster, can we? We got a 5. Cool. All right. 3 and a 2. That's a 5. We'll mark that bad boy up. There's the 5. Come on, get in there. And I'll mark it in here too. So the roll tracker has the 5 on it. Should be good to go. All right. First come bet. Boy, wouldn't it be great to have a nice clean run today? Nice clean run. Here we go. Set the 5s on top. Maybe we'll catch us a nice little 11 in there. That'd be cool. Here we go. That's a 5. We're gonna knock off our point. Okay, good shooter though. Good shooter. I'll take it. Right. Again, the horseman is designed to help me warm up, right, and get my throw in good shape. So that's okay. We'll be on the 5. I will, because we take 3 combats with the horseman and we're out of the don't pass now. I will go to the pass line. Okay. My second come bet is going to be a pass line bet. That way we hedge ourselves on this come out. And hopefully, let's get an 11 here, huh? What do you think? Ooh, kisses. It's an 8 hard. 8 hard. 4-4. There's the 8 square pair. We still have a chance to maybe break even. Maybe catch ahead. Let's catch an 11, a 5, and an 8. Let's have those be the next 3 rolls. What do you think? 11, a 5, and an 8. That'd be awesome. Here we go. Ooh, it's a kiss. It's an 8. I'll take the 8. That's 1. That'll be an exchange, right? So what's going to happen, the puck comes off, the comeback moves up, pass line, winner. Winner, chicken dinner. That comes back, okay? We don't do like a molly here. We don't replace the bets. They just come back. So that's it. Let's get a 5 and an 8 coming out here, huh? That's 11. Yo, I needed that a minute ago, right? 6-5. 6-5. Here we go. That looks like a 6. We'll take that. As long as it's not a you-know-what, right? Move that puck on over. And it should be noted, as I note every morning, if I had been playing the Dallas Drawdown, we'd be at the cage right about now, huh? We'd be at the cage if I was playing the Drawdown. My whole life revolves around getting 2 throws before the 7 every morning, right? There's the 8. That's a good one. That's a good one. Look at that. That'll come down and get paid $100. Boom, boom. We got $400 in the rack. The worst thing that can happen right now is that we lose $100, right? The best thing that can happen is we walk out of here a $100 winner. That'd be awesome, right? Here we go. Looking for a 5. Looking for a 5, shooter. Come on, baby. Oh, there's a 5 on the one die and a 2 on the other die. That makes a 7. That becomes a loser. Puck is off, but we burned $100, learning a little bit about ourselves. It's going to be a 5-2. Little 8 roller there to get started. That's okay. Tiny donation, not a big deal. Let's come on out with our 1,800 across like we do. So there's 1,800. That'll be 300 per. We'll do a quick drawdown. I might take the drawdown to 3 levels today because we lost $100. I may need to do a second hit at the second level. But there we are, 1,800 across. Puck is going to be off. I know you can see it, but it's off. And let's come out new shooter. New shooter, same direction. I can't shoot from the other side of the table yet. I'm still shooting from stick right. The other side of the table is not playable just yet. I haven't fixed the studio up. But here we go. We're coming out. Bets are off. Ooh, big kiss. 7, 6, 1. Landed square on top of the other die, which I realize mathematically does not create a 7, but it sure as hell feels like it does sometimes, doesn't it? Here we go. Hard way set. That's a better looking toss, Johnny. That's a hard 10. 5 and a 5, hard 10. There we go. Alrighty. Let's rock it, man. Let's rock it. How about a hard 10 right back? Wouldn't that be cool? Let's get a hard 10 right back. Get the extra win, the extra payment up there. Be awesome. Ooh, 7, 4, 3. Again, land on top, and you know what happens. Ooh, thank you, cat. All right, my wife just came back with coffee. It's her birthday today. Everybody wish Mrs. Procraps happy birthday. There it is, right? No hits again. So twice on that shooter, the dice landed square on top, and twice it was a 7. I know it doesn't happen every time, but it sure feels like it does. Here's another 2K. Another 2K with 200 change. We're just going to rock the same bet and see if we can't catch up. Can we catch it back? Huge bummer. Huge bummer. 4-3. Just like yesterday, right? When I'm playing my actual strategy, can't seem to get out of my own way here. So let's hope we can get this. Okay, there is a 5, 3, and a 2. 5, the fever. Let's mark that puck over. I'll mark that up in the roll tracker. 3-2. Alrighty, let's do it. Let's do it. No PSO on the second guy. Here we go. That's going to be a 5. Right back to it. That'll work good for us. That'll work good for us. 3-2-5. 3 and a 2. That pays 300. That pays 420. So there's 400 and 20 bucks. 420. Now what I'm going to do here for this is we're gonna do something a little bit nuts. We're gonna press all the insides like that. The 8 will go to 420. The 6, shoot, I gotta. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take the $100, make them both look like 450, like that. Press the insides. Puck is off. We're coming back out again. We'll catch a little bigger hit on the inside, and then we'll do our drawdown. Okay, so let's go for a little press before the drawdown here to kind of help us catch back up some of that loss. And here we go. Coming out. Oh, not a great throw. It's a hard 6, though. We'll take it, but that was ugly. UGLY, you ain't got no alibi because you ugly. That was some horrible throwing right there. All right, here we go. Inside skinny right here, man. Inside skinny. Let's go. Come on, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. It's a 9. That'll work really well. Awesome. 5 and a 4. Sweet. That'll help a little bit. So that 4 pays 560. So it's 550, 560. Okay. We're going to bring everything down to half. So I'll spread these out. There's 300 bucks there. We're going to go to 150, 150, 150. 150, 150, and 150. There we go. 150 per number. I'm going to go ahead and get these things looking nice. There is 3 times 500. I'm going to bring back the 2,000 in purples from that hit. Rebuild the rack a little bit. We're not going to be obviously out of this hand, right? because we took that ass kicking earlier, but that helps a little bit. We'll probably do the same thing at this lower level, a little one press and come on down kind of a deal if we can get it. Here we go. Here we go. Ooh, not a great throw, but it's a 3 and a 1. 3, 1, 4. That'll pay $300 down there. The vig on that is going to be it's going to be $5, $6, $7 vig. I'll put 10 out. Take my 3 change for the vig. Let's take the $300 and we'll press. Let's get the 6 and the 8. Let's make the 6 look like 3 and the 8 look like 3. We'll take one crack at those two on the inside. If they don't happen to come, so what? We'll pull down after the next hit no matter what, and we'll play out 160 across. No matter what happens here, we'll play out 160 across. Let the shooter finish up, and we'll see where we get ourselves, okay? Here we go. Dice are out. It's a 4 and a, oh shit, I thought it was a 4. It's a 5, 2, 7. We don't get it. Yeesh. Okay. So there we go. That sucks, man. One more hit there would have been really nice. We would have had most of our cash back. We would have been 1,000. We would have had $1,200 coming back to the rack. We would have almost rebuilt ourselves from the earlier throttle, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out. So today's paycheck's going to be a loss, right? I'm not going to chase all morning. It's a loss. 2,500, 3,000, 31, basically 75, 31. So we lost about $1,800 today. We lost essentially that first PSO. We got part of that back, but that's what we're down. So not going to go chase that. I mean, I can, but I have a lot of things I want to get through today. So we'll leave it at that. That was whatever. Some days you make it, some days you don't. Today we didn't make it. However, we would have made it if we just played that way out of the gate, right? I tried to do this warm-up thing, and does it really matter if I warm up? I don't know. Let's sit on down and have our morning chat. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Joe just had I didn't watch Joe today, only because I'll put your comment up here too. Move my mouse over here so I can see it. Hey, where's the mouse? Where is the mouse? There we go. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. Joe had a monster. Today is Kathy's birthday, and she got herself her birthday Starbucks this morning. But yeah, I was up there helping out. So I was doing the dogs and feeding them and walking them and, trying to give her some freedom up there to get her morning done. And so I didn't get to watch anything this morning. So yeah, bummer that I missed it. Good for Joe. Yeah, what is the chef's full name? It is Ashish. I will not tell you his last name live, but I'll make sure we connect. It's Ashish. You might find him as what is his handle in Discord? It's Yo Chef in Discord. Monster Joe. Joe is a monster. Yep. Yeah. He'll be. I think he's Yo Chef in chat. So Dice Dr. Dan, I will pass that along. Thanks for putting up with John. She puts up with an awful lot. I'm actually gonna make these comments a little bit bigger if I can. We can read the words better. Oh no, not that. Let me do this. I gotta do a little bit of an adjustment here because I can't. Oh my goodness gracious. The words are too small on this screen. For some reason, the words come out super small. If I do that, and then that, you can read better. There we go. There we go. And Old Bay passes it along too. Old Bay says, shooting person goes up a stand to see his toss come to your back wall from SR1. It's beautiful. Thank you for that. But when it's not beautiful, it's ugly. Like if I'm not, today's a good example, right? I wasn't really releasing well today. Not a good toss. Some days it just does not seem to work out right. But yeah, it's when it works, it's cool. And whether it works from the numbers or not, immaterial. It's always a thing where after I shoot, people on the table want to talk, right? It's one of those. It's like a really good conversation starter. So anyway, I want to get into some stuff today with you. First things first. Oh no, did I not press the button? I didn't press this button either. God, what a dum. I'm telling you what, my production skills today are 0. Let's get that. There we go. We're going to hammer the 4 and 10 today, actually. But before we do, a couple things to note. Craps of the Cure 2024, she's over. As you know, we got it done. We made our number last night. go over here? Why is it doing that? There it is. We made our number, which is great. But I did forget a couple things. I want to make sure I make a couple of call outs this morning. So one, Patty Gaskin, Patty Gaz, if you know him in chat, from Ireland came over. And Big AZ was there, right? Remember, the Big AZ big meetup was the week before Craps for the Cure. So all the Big AZ crew was there, right? That whole week before. We played with them actually the Thursday night before Craps for the Cure. And Patty was there and AZ was there. And AZ was a big help, by the way. He came into the Craps for the Cure and he was also part of the unseen people. He was helping deal all those, so you think you can press. He dealt all that stuff. He was amazing, right? So he was awesome just as a helper. Patty, he made donations along the way anyway, like everybody else did. But on the way out of town, he was in the airport and hit the airport for, I don't know how much, $1,700, something like that, and donated 1,000 back, right? Right there at the airport. Like that donation came in from the airport as he was flying back home. So I forgot to call him out last night. For some reason, when I did the list, I didn't sort the amounts right. He wasn't in my list of people to copy into this thing. So I totally missed him last night. I apologize for that. But yeah, Patty was another one of our $1,000 donors. And again, it was just a great story. What's really cool to me is Patty did that. Alan did that. Alan was on a table with, who was he on the table with? It wasn't Rick. It was Stan, Tex Arcadian. They were on the table together. And I think Stan hit the 6-point fire bet. And everybody at the table made a fortune, right? That's Alan came back the next morning and dropped $1,000 on the table, right? That was part of his huge donation. Stan made a huge donation, of course. Great, right? It was amazing. Like the people that just did, I won it big, and I'm giving that right back. It was like, it was really cool. Anyway, so that's super, super cool. Anyway, there's that. Make sure I call those guys out. Craps for the Cure 2025 is already under planning, right? We have an easy goal this year, right? Our goal this year is simple. We got to raise 25,000 more for Moochie, 25,000 more for the dog to be named Pearson after Ed's son. So our goal for this year, from today until my birthday, September 12th or 14th, whatever that Saturday is to raise 50K. Let's get those two dogs fully funded. That's going to be the goal for here to the next one. That's going to be the thing. So hopefully we get that done. And again, we got a staff already put together. The staff is already here, right? We got all the people that helped out last year. Of course, Chris is back. Jeff is back, right? Everybody's going to be a bigger part of it going forward. And yeah, it's going to be awesome next year. So the 2025 Craps the Cure, we're already starting to talk through it. So thanks for everybody's donations, help, well wishes, thoughts, all that stuff. I appreciate all of it more than you can imagine. There's so much stress involved with putting that whole event together. You guys are great. So let's move on. I won't talk about it again for at least a month now. We'll do other stuff. We'll do some crap stuff. And what I want to do today is this. I want to hammer the 4 and 10 today. I want to get started on we did this whole series way back. I say way back, probably a few months back on gambling, right? We did the Gambling 101 through Gambling 401 series. We did all this, money management and discipline and psychology and brain and all that stuff, right? We didn't really talk strategy at all. We talked a little bit of strategy about how to press and that kind of thing, but really we didn't get into it. And my hope was that everybody would be able to say, I've learned all that stuff. I know what kind of player I want to be. I want to be conservative. I want to be aggressive. I want to be whatever I want to be. I want to manage my money in X and such a way. We haven't yet talked about how to put it together and build a strategy. And I want to really get into what it feels like to me to build a strategy. And I'm going to show you a strategy first, and then we're going to unwind and break down the parts of it. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go switch screens. I'm going to go to this screen here. Just look at the box all by itself. All right. And what I'm going to show you here, I'm going to get the orange light turned on, is a strategy called the Philly Special. Now, this one is a strategy that I don't play out of the gate. This is one of these things where strategically I do something, get my bets to where they're all paid for, whether it's a regression or whatever it is. When I'm paid for, this is a way that I like to play. And the reason why I like to play this way is this. It's my favorite ways to play each set of numbers. We're going to take the 6 and 8 at $30 each. The 5 and 9, we'll do them at $20 each. Okay. The 4 and 10, we can do them at $15 each. Doesn't matter what they're at. Actually, let's make the 4 and 10. We'll make them 20s too, just to keep it even, like so. Now, what I do with this strategy is I play each set of 2 numbers the same way. Ways that I have found work for me that I enjoy playing. Again, a lot of this pressing time is about finding the ways that you enjoy and the ways that you want to experience these numbers being hit. So, for example, the 6 and 8 pays $36 or $35, right? We'll do it like this: $35. I will drop $1. Okay, make them both go to 48. There's $18 twice. They both go from 30 to 48. There's the 40, 45, and the dealers will just drop the whites on top. They both go to 48. We sister press them. Okay, the next hit of a 6 or of either one of them pays $56, 55, which is almost paid for both of them. They're out there for 60. I'm out for 56 right here. And that's it. It's a sister press and collect. The next time they hit for $56, we press them both again. There's 55, $56. They both get pressed. So again, they're both going to go to 50, 72, 72, a little bit of change, and now I'm out of the 6 and 8 with some profit on that second one. From here, we just go, right? We just full press both of them with the winnings, collect, and I just rock them that way. Sister press, collect. They pay often enough that between the 2 of them, I make money. That's how I like to play the 6 and the 8. When I'm being aggressive and I'm out of the hand, that's a fun way for me to play those 2 numbers. And that's what I typically will do. Now let's get those back to square. And I'll show you the 5 and 9. So the 5 and 9, I really like the G Money special, right? I know that Mel sort of created that thing. G Money kind of made it famous, and I talk about it all the time. I love the G Money. 20 on the 5 and 9 pays $28. Right? If I drop $2 out of my rack, that becomes 30 plus 20, makes the whole bet look like $50. So we go up to 50, right? When that comes, it pays 70. Now, I love this because there's my $20 back, right? I'm out. On the second hit, after that huge press, you're out, right? Choices: take back a black chip and start over again. That's a good way to do it. Choice number 2, take it to 40, right? There's my profit plus the money back, right? $20 that is mine. It goes to 40, and I do the same thing. 40 pays, as you know, 55, $56. Drop that nickel, make it look like 100. Okay, when it goes to 100, it pays 140, which magically is the 40 that I started with, and some nice profit. I love that play on the 5 and the 9. So the 6 and 8, sister press, 5 and 9. I like the G Money. I think it's a great way to play. It brings money back frequently enough. Those numbers tend to run a little bit, and I like it. That's how I play that one. On the 4 and 10, I do a flip. Not the Chris flip. I do my own flip. Okay, my own flip is this: 40 or 20 pays 40. I just flip them. Give me the bet, place the win. 40 pays 80. Right? Take the bet, place the win. And I just keep rinsing and repeating that, right? That's how I play the 4 and 10. I give them a full press and a collect. Sometimes I'll double press it before I collect it out. Whatever, right? That's, again, my way of playing. Now, I call it the Philly special because I'm from Philly, and I love that play in the Super Bowl is fantastic and whatever, right? All that is me combining the ways I enjoy it, right? In the ways that I enjoy it. That's it, right? That's not a strategy. That's just me playing these 2 and these 2 and these 2 the ways I like to play them, okay? For you, building a strategy is no more hard than that. Find the ways you enjoy playing those numbers and build a thing around that. Now, I'm going to show you this today, tomorrow, and Friday, on Thursday rather, different ways that we can play the different sets of numbers. So give me a second here. I'm going to switch my screen over to another view. I think this will work. If I do, let's see. Can you see the notes? I think you can. We're back on that same screen, and there's some notes about the 4 and 10. We're going to hammer the 4 and 10. Okay, and the way that we hammer the 4 and 10, hold on, we can't see the words here because why? Move that over just a little bit. You can see the B. Okay, here we go. Let's look at the 4 and 10. And I know I've taught on the 4 and 10 many, many, many times, but I'm going to review some of this with you. The 4 and 10 each have 3 ways to roll. The 7, let's go 1, 2, 3 on the 4. We have 3 ways to roll a 10. We have 6 ways to roll a 7. You're even up, right? There's a 50-50 shot here of you getting planked or you getting your number, right? Before one of them resolves. One thing to resolve versus this thing to resolve. That's the odds, right? Now, when you're playing these things out, a couple things to know, right? If you're below 20 bucks, you're getting kind of jacked on the house edge, right? So like, for example, $15 4 pays $28. $27, right? $27, right? Should pay 30. You're getting jacked for $3 here, right? Probability wise. If you just go to 40, right? 40 for $1 in VIG, and we'll explain the VIG here in a minute. 40 or 20 rather would pay 40 for the 1, right? Here you're only costing you $1 to get paid true. So if you can afford it, even on a $15 table, go to 20 bucks on the 4 and 10. Never play these things at 10 or 15 bucks if you can help it, right? Get to the buy level. It really does help on that payment. Now, that said, I'll explain the VIG, but I won't be paying VIGs today as we do the demonstration. I want to show you how the VIG works, okay? VIG is, it's the house kind of take on the 4 and 10. You're paying a commission to the house so you get paid the right amount. So you want 20 should pay 40. They're not going to ever give you real 2 to 1, right? So you're going to pay $1 for the right to get paid 2 to 1. That's okay. It starts at 20 bucks. It's a 5% commission on the bet, right? 5% of 20 is the $1, right? So here we go. When we do this thing up, 20 becomes $1. 40 becomes $2. I'll put this next to it. There's your VIG on that. There's your VIG there. $2. When you get to 60, most houses, that's your 3. When you get to an $80 bet, there's your $4, and of course your $100 bet cost you a nickel. Okay, 5%. That's how this works. Okay, 5% of the bet is end up what the VIG is going to be. So check it out. You don't got to pay the $2 for 40 until you're at 40. So for example, if you had a $25, $35 4, it's still only $1 for the VIG. Until you hit 40, you're still paying only $1 in that VIG, which is a good thing to know because that pays 70 bucks, right? 30 pays 70. Come on, get your chips right there, Johnny. 35 pays 70 for 1, right? That $1 is a low percentage of this, lower percentage of 70 than it is of 40. So if you can afford to go to 35, maximize the amount of VIG you have to pay, or minimize the amount of VIG, the impact of VIG on your win. That's the idea. So anyway, that's how VIG works. I'm not going to mess with white chips today. I don't want to deal with it, frankly, while we're explaining how the bets work. But know that that's there. I'll call it out, but I'm not going to actually throw white chips all over the place. All right, here we go. Let's look at some of the ways that you can play the 4 and 10. I'm going to rock the 4 and 10 at the $25 level because it's easy for me to bet and deal. Okay, we'll put $25 each on the 4 and 10. This could be 20, this could be 30, this could be 50, 100, whatever it is, the patterns that we're gonna follow on the 4 and 10. I'm gonna show you a few patterns that I have played that I like to play. We'll talk pros and cons. All right, first pattern is gonna be same bet, easy, 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 right? On a 4, it pays 50 bucks. Remember, the $1 VIG on the $25 bet pays 50 bucks though. 50 bucks ends up in your rack, 50 bucks. If you happen to hit the 4 3 times before you see a 7, right? You get lucky on that, that's 50. That's 50. We'll take 3 hits. Let's just say we get our 3 hits. You get 150 bucks out of that, which is pretty cool, right? Collect, collect, collect. This is great collections. If you're behind in your rack, if you have had a bad session and you're behind, same betting of 4 and 10 at the $25 level is a nice way to get yourself back in action, right? You pay for the first hit, pays for both bets, right? You're even. The next hit of a 4 and 10 is a clean $50 win that can help replace lost money. A lot of times when you're behind, you're a little bit scared, right? You're a little tentative, right? Same betting the 4 and 10 is a good way to recoup a little bit of loss, okay? But it's kind of a weak way to play. You're gonna not build super quick. Let's take a look at another option, okay? Let's take a look at the collect then press, okay? And you can do collect then press in a couple of ways, right? First, let's collect. The 4 hits, we'll take that $50 back to the rack, we're out. The next hit of the 4 pays $50. You do a full press of that thing, right? And again, it's an aggressive move, but you're already out. Those two numbers, if you look at them in tandem, have paid for each other, okay? That $75 on the 4 that you have now because you pressed it up will pay $150. Now, if you want to, you can stay where you are. What I've seen people do is a couple of things at this point. The $150 for sure coming home, right? Money back and profit, right? More profit on that second hit, right, than you would have had if you were same betting. Okay, more profit than if you were same betting. It's an important thing to remember. Okay, now with the 75 that's left, you can split it, and now each of them would pay $100 minus the vig. That's a nice, easy way to, or you can leave it there at 75, and when that thing hits a second time, now you're off to the races. You can make it look like, I would probably make it look like 150, take the 75 back, maybe go to 200, right? But you've got this. When you lock that up, you're good, right? So a press, then collect is a strong way to play the 4 and 10 because that press really is meaningful, right? On a 4 and 10, the press is such a boost to your rack. Now, the lighter version of that is the sister press and collect. So again, the 4 pays, let's say $50. Sister press, the 10 and the 4, we call them sister numbers, right? A lot of times you'll hear that term. If you're new to craps, you'll hear them called sisters. And that's because when you roll a 10, here's a hard 10 on my dice. Can you see that? Actually, let's get the bigger dice. It'll be easier to see that. Let me lean out here and get that. They're sisters because no matter how you roll a 4 or a 10, there's a 10 on the opposite side of the die is the 4. If you roll a 6, 4, 10, right? The opposite side of that's going to be a 3, 1, 4. They're sisters to each other. So the dice flip over, you have the other one, right? So the sister press looks like this. One of them wins, the 10 wins, $50, press them both. Money's not in your rack. The second hit of either of them pays a black chip. You can regress them back down, which means that was the money that you started with, and there's your clean profit, and you're out there playing again, right? Bring back a black chip, get your starting money back, minus $5 for vig, obviously, right? But you got a black chip in profit, and you're still playing, okay? If you rinse and repeat that, you can collect a black chip every other time a 4 or a 10 rolls, right? Which is, again, it's conservative, but it's also bringing back color. And if you're down, not a bad way to, okay, I'm down on my rack. We had a bad run there. Let's press them both. Let's grab me a black chip, play them both clean. And from this point forward, because you're clean in the rack, have your profit, you can switch your way of playing to something more aggressive. If you want to now go and try for a purple chip or something, now you have permission because you got your money back, right? Use these things to kind of like edge your way into other things, right? There's a sister press. Now the degen flip is one that's fun if you're ahead, okay? If you're playing from a position of strength, this is a great way to do it, right? It's just super fun. I'll do it just on the 4, right? It's a $35 4, okay? Remember, that vig on that's only $1, right? That's the beauty of that. 35 is gonna pay $70, okay? $70, if you add one of your nickels to it, take a nickel back, guess what? That's 75, $100. It goes to $100 on the first hit. Let's make it look pretty for you. $100, right? On hit 1, here's the $5, by the way, that you're gonna need when this thing hits. If it hits a second time, it's gonna pay $200. You'll pay the vig back, right? Choices. 1, keep the $200 because you worked hard for that, right? Leave the 100 here. If it hits a third time, okay? Again, now you press it. And I would actually take one of these here and make it look like 350. and take 50 back. Remember, you're still, right? You got your money back. That 50 bucks feels like you're 35. You got your money back plus a black. You're in good profit there on hit 3. But here's where the money is, right? Because 350 pays 700. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $700. Now again, the VIG on that, 5, 10, 15, 17 bucks in VIG. Don't forget that. But 700 bucks feels like you just won about $1,000. Okay? Actually, it's 1,175 bucks in 4 hits, right? Have you ever seen the 4 or 10 hit 4 times on a shooter? Sure you have. If you've already got this in the rack from something else that you did, right? Or actually in our case, if you already have your 35 bucks in the rack for one of those 2 numbers, that might be the next thing you do, right? You might take $35 off of a 6 or an 8, off an inside play and say, good, I'll take that 35 bucks, give me the 4, and then you're gonna rock this thing out. Like that degen flip is a cool way to play if you're playing it from a profit spot. So if you're gonna start 110 inside, let's say, win 35 bucks, grab the 4 with it, and let the 4 just run like a crazy person, that's fantastic. It's a great way to be aggressive on, right? That's the degen flip. The PC flip, my version of the flip, is easier, right? Again, I call it the flip. It's not really a flip, but I'm flipping what's happening. 25 pays 50, flip it. Give me the bet, place the win, right? 50 pays 100. I'll take the bet and place the win. That's hit 2. I've got my money from the 4 and 10 both back and my first quarter in profit, okay? If I catch it again, that pays 200 bucks, flip it, place the win, take the bet. Now I'm up 100 and a quarter. The next one, right? 2 pays 4. I'll take 2, place the 4, and now I've got basically on the way to a purple chip, right? I flipped that so easy, right? When you're in the middle of a game and it's a lot going on, that's a simple way to play the 4 and 10 where you're not going to forget what you're doing, right? A lot of times I think these strategies get too complicated. Do things that are simple, right? You tell your dealer to just flip it over, right? They'll remember that every time. It's very easy for them to do that. The shotgun we saw last week, the shotgun works like this, right? We'll take a $30 4 and a $30 10. Remember the VIG, right? You take whatever you got here and you put half of that amount on the hard way. Now I'm going to use this section of my felt for the hard ways because you can't see the real hard way section, all of it. But we're going to do 15 bucks on the hard ways. On the hard 4, 15 bucks on the hard 10. So it's 30 plus 15, 45. 30 plus 15, 45. $90 to get this done. At the minimum level, 90 bucks. Now the idea behind this, super simple. This is a Coach Parker play. Let's say you roll an easy 4, a 3-1 easy 4, okay? 30 pays 60. Again, take the VIG into account. 30 pays 60. You're gonna lose 15 bucks. I'm gonna actually get one of these quarters here and pay it as nickels. 30 pays 60. You put your 15 bucks back. And guess what you got back? 45 bucks. That's what you started with, right? The first hit, it's an easy way, you're out. You got your money back. The 30 plus the 15 is right back in your rack and you're free and clear. On any 4 or any 10, that number is paid for the first time, no matter how it comes, okay? Ideally though, we're catching hard ways with it, okay? If a hard way happens to run, of course you're gonna get paid 60 on that easy, on the regular 4, right? The hard 4 at 15 bucks, right? That pays 7 to 1, right? As you know, right? 35, 35, 35 feels like a black chip. 105. You're looking for the home run here, right? Because now you can bring back all the profit, right? There's 50 bucks effectively is your $45. You got $115 back in. A hard way hit, you're racking a black chip, okay? You can then double do it, right? Go to 60 and go to 30, right? Again, you're still bringing back 120 bucks. Double them up. Again, 60 would then pay 120, right? If you happen to get beat over here on an easy one, so what, right? You can take 30 bucks, right back to it, 20, 30 bucks, right back to it. You're still bringing a black chip back to your rack, okay? If we catch a hard way, and I'll put this all back the way it was, at this level, you catch a hard way, you're in great shape. You're at, what do you get, 30 bucks here, right? Again, that pays 120 in the front. 120 for the $60 4. The hard 4, 30, 3 times 7, 210, right? That's a $200, that's a nice, look at that. Look at that black chip coming back, right? Just with one press, one hard way, pressing them up. Your next one is bringing back $300 in profit, and you're killing it, right? And at this point, it looks like 50 and 1. Again, it's always 2 to 1, 50 and 1. And just keep on doing that, right? Keep on going, double them both up every single time, and you're bringing back a lot, right? This is going to pay 200 in front, right? But 50 pays 350. Look at that. If you get to this level, look what you're bringing back. You're bringing back a black chip plus, and you got $150 out here, right? That's a great aggressive way to play it, okay? Again, one hit, the first 4 or 10 of any kind pays for the whole thing, and now you can just hammer it out like that, right? That's a fun way to play the 4 and 10, and that's a Coach Parker thing, right? And of course, the last couple we'll talk about here are the hard ways and the coloring up. So coloring up is fun too, right? If you're in a profit position, right? Press so you can collect color, right? I love pressing to color as an idea, right? So again, we'll take the 4, right? 4 pays 50, okay? Press 1 unit, take 1 back, you get your money back, but the idea is that pays color. It pays a different color. It pays a black chip, which we're gonna keep, okay? Now, from this point forward, we have our money back, we have $100 in profit, we have 50 bucks on the 4, it's gonna pay 100. I'm not gonna collect again until I get a color change. So full press to 150. 150 pays 300 bucks, okay? We're gonna press the whole freaking thing. Go to 4, if you want to bring the greens back, fine, go to 450, okay? What's gonna happen on the next hit? 450 is gonna pay 900. There's 5, there's 9. 900 bucks coming back. It's a full color change. You could have, instead of going to 450, just gone to 250. Take back the greens, or take back the extra blacks, go to 250, let that pay 500, which is a color change, it's a purple chip, and stay where you are, right? At that second 150 hit, you have all the choices, right? Go all the way up, or go just to 250 so you catch a new color on the next hit. Playing for color up changes is an interesting way to play once you got your money back. We'll do it again. Let's go do that whole sequence one more time, because I think we don't talk about that enough. Here we go. 4, first time, pays 50 bucks, right? Again, press it, keep 1 back. You press it because you're gonna get your money. You got your money back. The next hit is a color change. Take it back. Take the color to your rack. The next hit, again, is a color change, and it's a full press. 150 pays 300, okay? You can press it to 250, take $200 back. Now, for hit number 4, that's a color change. That's 500 bucks. So again, the 4th hit, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900, $1,000. Okay, but you color changed once, color change a second time. So pressing to color is a cool way to play all the numbers, but the 4 and 10, you can get there so fast by doing that. Okay, and obviously you've got, as a side bet on all of this stuff, is the hard ways, right? The hard way parlay is always a fun thing to play, right? And if you're at like a $30 4, let's just say a $35 4, whatever that happens to be, and that thing pays the 70 bucks, right? Oftentimes I'll wait for the first one, but when it pays 70, I'll make it look like 50, and I'll put $10 on the hard way, and I'll bring back my initial bet plus a little bit, okay? That's a good way to do it, right? Grab the hard ways with the wins. Now, every time you win, if it's easy, you'll lose that. It'll pay the 100 bucks, right? Just replace, right? Put 1 red for every green that you get back, right? Every time you're getting a green, put a red out there, and basically play the caps, like cap your hard ways from your flat wins. Interesting ways, again, to hammer the 4 and 10. The 4 and 10 are profit drivers when they're hitting. When they're not hitting, their money sucks, right? I like to start them from another win if I can do it. If I can afford it, I go out there across and just kind of let them go. I prefer it when an inside number can pay for it. So oftentimes I'll bet across, and I'll same bet the first inside number, so that in my mind, that number paid for one of the 4s or 10s. Second inside hit, same bet. I feel like it pays for the other one. Now those 2 are kind of free and clear. Then I'll work the insides on the Philly special thing and let the 4s and 10s kind of run the table. And again, that's just a couple ways to play the 4 and 10. I think it's what, 5, 6 ways I showed you there. You can play the 4 and 10 other ways probably. Right, let's go back over here. You can play the 4 and 10 probably 10 other ways. Okay, it's all about you finding the way that you enjoy of all those ones I just showed you, right? And again, all of those I think should be played from a position of profit. When you're already profitable or you're already straight up on the game, that's the time to really go after those things. But those numbers can fly, right? When we did 50 to 75, 75 to 250, right? 250 getting the purple chip, you could take the, like I did the first time, and go right to 450 with it and grab pumpkins, right? Bam, bam, bam. I've seen guys rock the 4 and 10 so hard, and I'm like, how are you being so aggressive? And they say to you things like, I don't care about the 4 and 10. Like they literally say, I don't care about it. The 4 and 10 are their side bets. They're really trying to make the inside numbers be their profit driver, or they're kind of their collector, and they're feeding the 4 and 10, letting the 4 and 10 run. When they catch, they can make massive money in the 4 and 10 from a $35 bet. And a lot of guys look at the 4 and 10 that way. Again, if that's your thing, go for it, right? Here's options to play. When you build your strategy, how do you get to the point where you're at 20, 25 or 35 and can start a plan like that? That's what I want you to think about. But when you're there on the 4 and 10, you have options now, right? There's a bunch of ways to play. I'm going to go through and look at some questions here and see what's being said out here. So Skill Luck says, I prefer less risk and play with zero exposure, right? So that's your way. And like I said, if you can find a way in 2 or 3 hits to play with no exposure, as an example, the Dallas Drawdown. Let's take the Dallas Drawdown at not even the level we're most comfortable playing, but let's just take it anyway. We'll say it's a 640 across bet, right? Pays 140, okay? Take the 140, drop it down to 320. Take the $70. Take all your money off the table. You've won 140, you've won 70, right? That feels like 210 to me. That's 160 across with $50 in profit, right? That is a way from that point forward, you could play what I just showed you and have no fear, right? 640 to 320 to 160 and rock that thing out. You got $50 locked in profit. You got 160 across, and you're playing, as Skill says, with zero exposure from here, okay? You also have 210, right? So don't forget about that. But that's, again, these things that I show you, these pressing methods that I show you, are ways to press, I believe, once you're already in a spot where you can press. Once you're in a spot where you can press, not right out of your gate. Dan says, I see $2 on a third. It depends on the house. It depends on the house. Some houses will give you $35 for one. Some houses will charge you $2 for it. You got to know that going in. The first time you pull that move, you're going to know how your house operates, okay? Some houses also take the VIG up front, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. We should actually review that. Let me go back over here, and I want to make sure I recover that. I covered this about a month ago, but I want to make sure I cover it with you again because it's super important to see this, okay? Some places, let's look at the 4 and 10. We'll do the 10 as a place that takes the VIG up front. The 4 as a place that takes the VIG on the win, okay? First, the VIG up front looks like this. You're going to give them $26. They're going to take your buck. You're never going to see it again. I'm going to put it up here as a loser. You're never going to see that dollar again. Over here is just $25. If this bet happens to win, we're going to make the bet win 3 times. Okay, the bet wins 3 times. The first time you get your $50, they're going to want another dollar right now, another buck to replace the bet. Okay, it wins. That's great. Give me another dollar. Drop another buck, and it goes up, and you win your $50. That's fantastic, right? Now, what also will happen, you will lose that bet 6 times. Okay. You've already won it 3 times because you're awesome. Now we're going to lose it the 6 times we're supposed to on the 7, right? So again, you're going to pay your dollar, never getting that back, and you're going to lose a quarter, right? I'll put the losses up here. You're losing a quarter, okay? Okay, cool. That's 1. Pay the dollar to put the $25 back out. You got to give them 26. Lose again. The same thing. Another dollar. Lose again. Another dollar. Lose again. Another dollar, lose again, and another dollar, and you lose again. That's how this works when you pay the VIG up front, okay? You're gonna pay them $6, right? Every time you place the bet, you pay $1. You're gonna place the bet probably 9 times out of 36. You're either gonna lose it or you're gonna win it. In all cases, you're paying $1. You're paying $1. Every time that bet is live, you got $1 at risk. You're never getting it back, okay? The end result, right? You're gonna win 150, you're gonna lose 150, right? The wins and the losses negate. However, your net negative is $9, which sucks, okay? Now, let's compare that to the house that pays the vig on the win. You put your $25 out there and you win, you drop $1 and get your 50. Great. It wins again. You drop $1 and get your 50. It wins again. You drop $1 and get your 50. You're paying 50 for 1 after the win. That's fantastic, right? Now, when you lose, the 6 times you lose, you put the $25 out there and you lose it, they just take your losses. That's it. You lose 6 times. You don't got to pay to lose. Again, the wins and the losses cancel, right? The wins and losses cancel out, but the net is $3. You paid them $3 for their wins versus $9 for your wins and your losses. Houses that charge the vig after the win versus the vig up front, it's an enormous difference to you. Even at the $25 level, that extra $6 is huge over the course of time. That's, I mean, think about that, right? Over the course of not long time, 10 shooters, that could cost you $50 in dollars over the course of 10 shooters if you're playing the vig up front. And again, like Dan said, some houses at $35 may charge you $2. Know that. The first time you do this bet, you're going to know that right away. Factor that in. Do you want to do this or do you want to go to 30 and pay 1, right? Think about what you want to do, right? Just know that you got to kind of feel that out on your way to play. So there's that. Hope that answers some of the thoughts and questions that came up there. So what else do we have? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and look up. Vig up front is a total rip-off. It's such a rip, right? My local takes it up front, but they give it back. It's weird. They take it up front and they give it back to you on a loss. Like they hold on to it and they throw it back to you, which makes 0 sense. I'm not sure if it's like a time saver for them, but anyway. Let's see. Anything else? Let me go and look here for. I'm going through the chat, so give me a second here to go through it. Opening theory, middlemen, gaming craps. Let's see. Oh yeah. It's Kathy with a C. She will tell you it's Kathy spelled right. It's with a C for sure. Let's see. Everyone make a win envelope for 25. Yeah, there you go. I love that, right? Everybody drop a little bit of. I love that idea, Mark. That's great. Drop a little bit of money off your wins into an envelope, and then when September rolls around, that's really cool, right? That'd be amazing. Small piece of your wins. Save them up. I love it. You know what? I was saying this last night, and I hope you guys heard me on this last night. Actually, I didn't say it to you. I said, here, I'm going to go back here. I said this to the group in the group chat afterwards. The thing that's amazing to me about this, and I want you all maybe this is kind of a final thought thing. Let me go back to the final thoughts. Maybe give yourselves the huge pat on the back. Okay, we raised $27,000 this year. We raised $28,000 last year, $16,000 the year before. There's not a lot of us, right? There's not a lot of us. There is a small group of people, right? There's the 100 to 125 people that watch Joe and Craig and Jeff and Alfredo and me and whoever, right? Our small group of people is about 150 people that kind of morph and go through all the channels, right? Sometimes you don't watch me, you'll watch whatever, right? That's the size of our group. It's about that. And again, it's kind of amoebic on who we watch. That small group of people, now again, we brought in the Casino Quest audience as well, but that small group of people raised $25,000, right? That's an average donation of about $200, $225 per person. Think about that for a minute, right? With 100 and some people, we were able to raise $25,000 2 years in a row. I want you to just ponder that for a minute. As small as we are, it speaks to the generosity of everybody in our group. It speaks to the fact that everybody's into the charity that we pick. because it works for us, right? All of that, you should be so proud of yourselves, right? For a small, and think about it. If we can make our group bigger, right? If the coffee run turns into half craps and half roulette, and I bring the roulette people in it, I keep threatening to do that. I'm not good at it yet, right? But I will at some point bring roulette into this thing, maybe some Bach. Think about if we expanded the size of our little community just by 50 people, how much of an impact that has at Craps for the Cure next year. Think about that. I'm so blessed to have y'all in my life, to have all you guys that are so into what we do, that are fighting for the cause and fighting for all of us. It's amazing what the small group of people pulls off every year. I just can't, and again, the staff that helps out and everything, it's unreal to me. So y'all need to be like patting yourselves on the back for just how you do that, right? Just how you do that. Anyway, yeah. Joe says good night. JR, it's Catherine with a C. You got it right. The first one, it's Catherine with a C. And she's very adamant about that. So there you go. All right, you guys. Is it worth buying when we know the average win to loss ratio? It's always worth buying the 4 and 10. You should never not buy the 4 and 10, right? Even with the screw job on the paying the vig up front, it's still better than not, right? For an example, if we one more zoom in, right? If you have a $25 10 that's sitting there, right? You don't buy it. When you buy it, let's say you do the vig up front, the buck up front, and you buy it, right? And it pays 50 for that one, okay? Even if you lose the $9 we talked about, right? If you don't buy it, that pays 9 to 5. What that pays actually 9 times or 9 times 5 reds, right? For every red, it's $9, right? It's $45. That pays $45, right? Instead of 50. So if you don't buy it, right, you're giving up $4 or $5 or $4 net, right? $4 net, the dollar for the vig plus whatever. You're giving up $4 every time you win if you don't buy it. If you're able to buy it, buy it. Even if it's vig up front, which is a screw job, we all can agree on that. It's better than not buying it at all. And the 4 and 10 do catch fire sometimes. They do get on little runs, right? And you don't want to miss out on that. So even though the vig up front sucks, it's better than not buying it at all. And it's oftentimes better than not playing it at all. So I think you got to consider it even though, right? And the casino knows that. Like they know, they're not dummies. Like they know you're going to pay it anyway because it's still better off. And that's kind of what they do. There are casinos, by the way, I forget where. I know there was, Jeremy said there was one in Michigan and somebody else told me about another one where the 4 and 10, no vig. There's a couple of no vig 4 and 10 casinos out there, which is kind of cool. So I don't know where they are, but there's a couple that no vig. Tom Marco says California casinos should go auto buy 4, 5, 9, 10 with vig on the win. I think the down south casinos do that, which is great, right? That's fair to the player, right? And you know, eventually you'll get there. I think in Vegas now you can buy the 5 and 9 at some casinos. Not automatic, but you can ask for a buy on the 5 and 9, which is kind of cool. So, all right, guys, let's get out of here. Good show today. Hope you got something out of that. I'm gonna do that same breakdown tomorrow with the 5 and 9. We're gonna do a 5 and 9, all the ways that we can play the 5 and 9. We're gonna kind of go through them all. Not all the ways, but the ways that I've experienced and that I've done and I've seen people do. How do you play the 5 and 9 aggressively and effectively? And again, thinking about it from a position of relative strength. So that's tomorrow's show. You combine your favorite way that you saw today to play the 4 and 10. Tomorrow, your favorite way to see the 5 and 9. The next day, your favorite way to see the 6 and 8. And on Friday, you got all of it. All the ways to play, all the numbers. You put them all together the way that you like, and that's your strategy. My favorite ways to play them became the Philly special. That's just the way that I do it because I'm on rhythm with it, right? Do what you want to once you see all the things. That's the idea. We're going to take that next level up. So Skill asked me, when do we get to level up after Gambling 401? This is it. Take all the knowledge you gained from those first 90 shows we did on that stuff. Now look at the numbers and say, here's how I want to play. Here's how I want to win. Here's how I want to collect. That's the week that we're on. So that said all, God bless. Love every one of you. Thanks again, everybody, for making Craps for the Cure 24 happen the way that it did. And yeah, God bless all you guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.